Welcome into Nightmare Stories of the Otherside. Tonight we welcome Erica of Solo Paranormal in. How are you doing tonight?
I am good. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. Well, I think we're doing pretty good besides the deep freeze up here in Minnesota.
Yeah, it's you are definitely on a deep freeze. We're -1 right here where I'm at.
Yeah,
So,
I think we're
well,
like
it's 4 degrees, but feels like -1.
yeah, I
Where
think
are
we're
you at?
-11 and feels like -22.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And you're what, in Kansas again or where?
Yeah, it's Missouri, Kansas City.
Missouri.
I'm just east of Kansas City, about 20 minutes.
I think
So,
you got a storm coming, I hear.
uh-huh.
I thank
Yep.
God that we don't have it this time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all and it was supposed to be south of us, so it wasn't even supposed to hit us, and then it kept changing through the week. And I'm supposed to go tomorrow to Sleeper Mortuary, but I'm kind of waiting on the
Mhm.
snow totals. I'll probably be hunkered at home.
Yeah.
I think it goes all the way up to Maine almost, like the
It's a
whole, yeah.
they're calling it like one of the biggest storms in the century or whatever, but
Yeah,
And
I
it
saw
ended up.
can't wait to dig myself out.
I saw something that there's like 17 states are declaring emergencies. I'm like, I don't know, would I rather have the cold or the snow?
I think I'll take the cold.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I can drive places.
it's just that in and you guys are from Minnesota?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I grew up in Iowa, and I was telling my son today, it's like the temperature there's a good 10-15 degree difference from Kansas City to like Des Moines. And
Mhm.
he's like, "Oh, the winters are the same." And I'm like, "These aren't." I was like, "The wind chill you're feeling today is what I grew up with in Iowa, like all winter long." And that's how it is in Minnesota too, I would imagine.
Oh
So,
yeah, it's like
yeah,
yesterday
so I will
wasn't
take the snow over that wind chill
like
any day.
yesterday wasn't as bad as today, but I went to get gas just to have a full tank.
Oh, same.
And I
Oh,
was outside only for like, 2 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, this hurts.
I had my face fully covered. I was prepared.
And it's just
Yeah, I
like,
was like,
yeah.
this is Iowa winters. I don't like it. I've been spoiled. I've been in Missouri now for 35 years. The winters are much milder, but they seem to be getting a little worse every winter. Every year it changes.
I was
Yep.
in Kansas City last February and they had like a giant ice storm and it was awful. I couldn't even open my car doors because the ice was like sealing the doors
Yeah,
shut. I'm like, I've never seen this. Like, not that bad. I felt like the wind was way worse, which definitely makes everything worse.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's generally what we get is ice before the snow, and luckily this storm it's going to be mostly snow. So the ice is all more south, I think, of us. So
but yeah, I am definitely ready for winter to be done.
Hmm.
yeah, same, same.
I think
I got a
everybody
busy year.
is.
I'm ready to get on with it.
Yep. Oh, it's like we just had an investigation. What's it been, 2 weeks ago now?
Hmm.
And it was out in western Minnesota, and the drive out there sucked. And it wasn't like snowing or anything. It was just like super windy, so all that blowing snow, and it's like you couldn't tell what was ice or what was road.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Well, that's scary. It's not fun.
No. So, anyways, why don't you kind of give us a little background and rundown about yourself?
So, well, first of all, I am a mom, a wife. I have two boys, two teenage boys, 18 and 16. I am a full-time dental assistant. And then for fun, I do paranormal investigations. I've been doing it for a long time. I've always kind of been interested in it. Never really, a lot of people who get in the paranormal have experiences, as a child or whatever, or seen things. I never really had that. Um, Other than like when I would go visit my grandparents, they lived in Lexington, Missouri, which part of the Civil War was fought. There was a little Civil War battle there. So there's an area called Battle of Lexington. And where my grandparents' house was, it used to be like a rectory, or not a rectory, like where a church was, where the priests and all them would stay at. I can't think of
Yep.
the name of it, but it was part of a church. Well, during the Civil War, they would use that to house injured and the dead and whatnot in the house. And he would always tell me every time I go there, don't be afraid if you see something. I see him all the time. I see him in the mirrors and stuff like that. So he almost normalized it for me. I was never scared. He was just like, don't be afraid. It's okay if you see something. I see him all the time. And I never saw anything, but there was times where I'd be, laying in bed or sleeping, and they had an upstairs area that was an apartment, but nobody lived there. And you would hear footsteps and creaks and stuff upstairs, and nobody was there. But it never really freaked me out or scared me. I've always just kind of been okay with it.
Okay.
I think I've always had some type of connection to the spirit world. And I'm kind of learning more as I do these investigations and communicate with spirit more, that it's easy to communicate with them for me
Yeah.
for whatever reason. So I got into that, and like I said, I've been doing that I'd say probably the last 12 years. And I'd say the last 3 years, 3 or 4 years, I've really kind of upped it more, doing a lot more investigations, helping with events and things like that. So, and then also I do cakes, custom cakes on the side. This is my other side business that I do. Um, so I'm pretty busy.
Yeah,
I
for
stay
sure.
pretty busy.
So, like, what does your husband and your sons think about you going hunting for ghosts?
So my husband, he's done it with me a few times. He's not skeptical or anything. He believes. He's before he's just like, well, don't bring anything home and this and that. And um, I'd always thought he was a little skeptical, and I would bring like evidence home and be like, you got to listen to this EVP. And like the more he's like, you can't explain that. So I took him on an investigation once, and something happened that he was like, I couldn't explain it. And it just, how you get that experience and you're like, I
Yeah.
want more of it. Right. And so, he's gone on a few with me, but he's more on that UFO side. And
Okay.
I mean, I can't peel him away from the TV, watching all those UFO shows. So, we're both on that like weird side, I guess.
Yeah.
And my kids, my oldest, you know, he's also on like freaks out, like, don't bring anything home. Or if lights will start flickering in the house, he's like, you brought a ghost home. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I'll sage. It'll be okay. We'll tell him to leave. And my youngest, he's interested in it. He's actually gone on an investigation with me to Farrar Elementary. And he was about
Nice.
12 when we went there. And he had a pretty neat experience there too. So yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like that for like my wife. She's like super skeptical and, she supports me, but she just goes, you know, you're crazy.
Not it.
It's like
Yeah,
sh-
not her thing.
she's been on one, and so I think she's kind of leaning a little bit more, but it's like we have to get her on more. It's just like
Yeah.
she's
My
Yeah.
dad,
more into watching like the crime and homicide shows and all that.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then
We
like
all have our
my
niche, right?
right,
yeah, get her into the paranormal crime and then you'll be good.
there you go. And then like my oldest daughter, she goes on all the investigations with me. She's like the
Yes.
real brains behind it. She's just like for only being 12, it's just like, you know, she's like the real deal.
That's cool. Yeah. I've seen her work. She does good stuff.
And it's like one of our friends from Indiana that investigated with her over summer when she only found out she was 12, she's like, "What?" She
Hmm.
thought she was like 17. I'm like, "Nope, she's only 12."
Yeah.
Oh,
And then my
Yeah.
youngest daughter, she wants to go with, but I'm like, girl, you won't be able to handle it. Not yet.
Yeah. 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 I think the children are, you have to be careful in a way too, because they're a little more open. Um, but in a way, spirit is connected to them. a little bit better. So I
Yeah.
think they can get that evidence, or they can get them to communicate a little easier because
Hmm.
they're childlike, and they're more open to that communication.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
don't have blockages like we do.
I
No.
think it's good for like their development too. I mean, they have like that early experience of like death and dying, and sometimes that's a kind of a good thing because they don't have to
Yeah.
understand it more when they come to facing that in real life.
And
Right.
then it gives them like
For real, because even like
Practical.
throughout throughout this journey of paranormal investigating, I've done a lot of spiritual work as well. And I do a lot of divination, working with pendulums and dowsing rods and things like that. But I do a lot of divination at home, just speaking to spirit guides, um, and connecting that way. And I've lost past loved ones, and I brought them through with the pendulum and divination. And I just lost my mom this last February. And just that transition of what she went through, and being with her, and just kind of knowing that it's hard, it's not easy, um, to lose your mom or lose, a
yeah.
close family member. But I still have that connection with her. Like, I feel like I could still pick up my pendulum or rods or whatever and connect with her, or spirit dice or whatever, and I can still connect with her through my spirit guides. So I have that connection still, and I kind of knew, like, she's not far, she's right there with me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But then I too think for like, her young age, it's like good for her to get out and get all these experiences, meeting new people, learning the
Hmm.
history of the locations, and just, doing research.
Yeah, no, she's gonna be, if she gets older and continues to do this, like, she's going to have so much knowledge of all these locations and the history and all that. Like, yeah, starting that early is amazing.
Right. And it's like, I
And
brought
no
this up.
fear. I mean, the girl has no fear, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And it's like, there some fear does come through from time to time, which, for that age is normal. But it's like, I've, talked to other investigators or like people. It's like, what 12-year-old do you know that's been to Waverly Hills twice?
Hmm.
It's like, I
Yeah.
can name one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's cool. And it's good for you too. It's nice, it's fun bonding,
Yeah.
because when I started, I mean, I was always like interested in ghost hunting. We watched the shows, and my mom and I would watch together or whatever. We would talk about it. I'm like, oh, I would love to go on an investigation. And then I just found like a public investigation. I'm like, you have to come with me. And we went together, and we kind of started doing that together. And that's kind of what got me started. And that's when, I had my first experience was at the Glore Psychiatric Museum, and she was with me. So we've had that connection through the paranormal. And that's why it's like, now when I still go into locations, especially now doing like my solo, I haven't started my actual solo. My first solo investigation is going to be next month at McIntyre Villa. But if she was still alive today and I told her this is my concept, this is what I'm going to do, she would be like, "Oh, no, you're not. You're not going anywhere by yourself." Because, she'd always ask me before I would go on investigations, who's going to be there with you? Who are you going with? How many people? She was always worried about me going somewhere alone.
Yeah.
So, she's rolling over in her grave right now, but
Yeah. It's like, I haven't done a solo investigation myself yet. And it's like, I want to, but it's just like, do I really want to?
yeah. I just thought, I've been doing it for a long time, and I still investigate with people, and I have friends that I will go investigate with, or I'll collab with other investigators and other teams. But I thought, you see all these YouTube videos, and the majority of them are, groups of, teams, or two people or whatever. You don't see too many solos or
Right.
solo investigators, especially women. Um, and I was like, that's kind of a cool concept. I mean, not that I'm going to go and then I'm going to hit like 12 locations in a year, because I can't afford that. Being solo, if I've got to find a location that, you know, most of them, it would be the cheapest, probably $400 a night,
Yeah.
at some places, but I can't afford to do that many. But I was like, it'd be kind of fun just to go in and just kind of see what I get, as being alone and just document it and then put a little video together and throw it on YouTube,
Hmm.
and see what happens. But I kind of wanted a space also just to kind of put all of my paranormal findings because, on my regular Facebook page, I can put stuff on there, but not all my people on my regular Facebook page wants to see, paranormal stuff,
Yeah.
And so I thought I'm just going to kind of just make this, solo paranormal can be just my entity, my paranormal entity. And then I can kind of get in, you know, with this community better than as, on my own page.
Hmm.
So yeah, just thought it
So,
was a fun concept.
yeah, definitely. It sounds awesome. So, when you first started investigating all those years ago, what was the first location that you investigated?
So the first place, actually, my mom and I, we were in Savannah, and we just did kind of one of those like little ghost tour things. It
Hmm.
was at a house in Savannah, and we went in with a group of people and just did this little tour. And I put one of those little apps on my phone. I can't even remember what it was back then. It was so long ago. But it would come up with all the words and stuff like that. We were walking through this house and just things were popping up that made sense. Like the tour guide was talking about the history and these things were kind of popping up, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. But so that we started there and then found the public investigation at Galore Psychiatric Museum, and so we went there. And with public investigations, they split you off into groups, and then you go investigate with a whole bunch of people, and then you can kind of do free roam. So it was during the free roam where I went down. Have you guys been to Glore Psychiatric
I have not,
Museum?
I've heard a lot of good things about it. I haven't.
It
Someday
yeah,
I'll get down
it's
there.
yeah, it's really cool. So I went down because the before the investigation start, you can go and it's a museum. So it's like three levels of just all kinds of stuff about the psychiatric hospital that was there in St. Joe. And so they have all kinds of history. And so before you could go in and just do a little tour of the museum before the investigation started. So I went there by myself, did a walkthrough, and I went down into the morgue. Well, downstairs there's like a rehabilitation area and then the morgue. When I walked into the rehabilitation area, I just felt like this overwhelming sensation of like something was grabbing my legs. Like I just felt tense and just
Yeah.
uncomfortable. And I had a phone app going too, so things were kind of popping off on the app, and I was like, "Oh, this is weird." So when we came back for the investigation after all the rounds and stuff, we did free roam. I was like, "Hey, we need to go down to the morgue area or downstairs because I felt something really strange down there." And it was a couple other girls that were in at the event too, came with us. And we were in the morgue area. I was standing on one side of the table because there's this table with like a fake body on it, and the other two girls were on the other side. And I had the little app going on the phone. It was calling saying entity present, and we are trying to get it to communicate. And they were standing there. They're like, "Hey, something feels weird. You need to come over here and check this out. Like it feels weird over here." So I walked around the table, walked behind him. And as soon as I walked past, like right behind him, it was like I walked into a cloud of static electricity. Every hair on my body stood up. And I mean, it was the weirdest feeling I ever felt.
Mm.
And I'm like, my mom was standing there and I was like, "Mom, you got to feel this." And I'm pulling her into me and into us, like, "Can you feel it?" She was like, "I don't feel anything." I'm like, "How do you not feel this?" My phone ended up just crashing. The whole phone just died. The app crashed. The phone just went dead. I had to reboot the whole phone to get it back on. And then we just kind of like booked it out of there. So I'm pretty sure I walked right into spirit right behind them.
Crazy.
Yeah. And I was like, that was the coolest thing I ever I ever felt. I'm like, okay, I gotta go on another investigation. I gotta find another one. And then it just spiraled from there.
That's how it always is.
Yeah.
So after that, what was your next investigation that you came
Gosh,
across?
after that, because we're going back quite a while. Um, I'm trying to remember. It would have had to have been probably McIntyre Villa in
Okay.
Atchison. But I also did, I think that same weekend, it was like a two night thing. It was oh, the the lake house in Holton. I think it's Holton, Kansas. The lake house and Hotel Josephine.
Okay.
Have you heard of Hotel Josephine?
I have.
It's closed, but yeah, so it was the lake house and then Hotel Josephine. Because I think McIntyre might have been before that. I can't remember. So it was kind of all around that same time that I did those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were some experiences, if you can remember, that you had there?
Um, so at the lake house, which isn't too far from Hotel Josephine, and that place has been sold. Now it's a residence, and I'm not sure how anybody's living there. We heard audible baby cry. We were in this little area. It was like a little kitchen area, and then there's like a loft above it. And we were just all kind of sitting around the table. We might have been doing rods or something. We were just kind of hanging out and talking, and we heard an audible baby cry um, up in that loft area. And we got some really good communication um, with a male spirit down in the main room. And I know we got some really good EVPs. I can't remember what all. Like there was kind of a gruff older spirit, it seemed like, in one of the bedrooms, and he was kind of angry. We got an EVP that just didn't seem very nice. But that one in the Hotel Josephine, I got actually it's on my TikTok. There's a video, and I had a camera set up in the basement, and there's an area in the basement where there's an old well. I don't know if it was their water source or what, but there's an old well and they got it all covered up. And so I set up my camera kind of in that area, and there was a chair with like a couple dolls on it. And we were all back in the other room, and you can kind of hear us talking. And I'm asking the spirit that's in there, do you like those dolls? And then you didn't hear anything audibly, but in the video, you hear, I don't.
Hmm.
It's just like this weird, I don't.
Nice.
Yeah. So I posted that. But we would get just a lot of shadow figures at Hotel Josephine. Um, really good EVPs. That was a really cool place to investigate. But it's been 3 years since I've probably been there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just a little bit ago, you mentioned Farrar. When did you investigate there?
That had to have been, I would say, how long is it Sam and Colby have it now, right?
It's been a year and a half-ish, something like that.
I want to say it was probably at least 3 years ago, because I want to say my youngest was like 12 or 13. So I was gonna say it was probably about 3 years ago. Um, and it was just me, him, and another friend of mine that went. Because the other people that owned it were there. Sam Coley hadn't bought it yet.
Yeah. Oh,
So
okay.
I want to say it
I
was,
can't remember what their names were
yeah,
that
I don't
owned it
remember
before.
either. But there wasn't a whole lot that happened. It was a little quiet. I mean, we were getting some things. And I don't know if you've experienced this there, but we went into the auditorium,
Okay.
and um the lady that I was with was handing me some stuff to use. She had like one of like the Boo Bear, or like this little bear that lit up,
Yeah.
and it had a battery in it. And the battery, if you don't take the battery out, it makes all kinds of crazy noise when it's being touched. So we took the battery out, and I can't remember. She didn't hand me another battery. I just had the battery in my hand. And I went to put the battery back in and set it down, and we were like starting the investigation. I put my hands in my pocket, and there was another battery in my pocket. And I was like, where did this come from? And she's like, I have no idea.
Interesting.
Because it was like, I was like, something slipped that battery in my pocket. And then when we were in one of the classrooms, and we put a little cat ball in the entrance. my son was sitting towards like the back of the class. I was kind of sitting in the middle. And then Renee, my friend, was sitting up front. She was pretending to be the teacher. And she was like, okay, class is starting. It's time to come in. And then as soon as she said that, the cat ball starts going off in the near the hallway, like people, like somebody was coming in. Got a little bit in there. And then as we, because it was getting cold, it was like, I want to say it was October, November ish. So it was cold, and my son had pulled his hoodie up and he started to like wanting to tighten up his strings,
Yeah.
and he was like, where's my string? And he looks and he pulls on it and the whole string comes out, and he's like, I don't know how that happened, because he goes, I had this tightened just a little bit ago, and so something must have just been slowly pulling at his sweatshirt the entire time we were in there, because it didn't. I was like, what is going on? So that
Mhm.
was really the one of the interesting things that happened. Afterwards, after we reviewed evidence, Renee had caught a shadow figure um in the it, down in uh the boiler room.
Okay.
It looked like something had like come out, a little shadow figure had come out and then quickly jumped back in as she panned around. So we were in the down in that room where the boiler room
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, we were just there in October, and I don't know, did we ever really determine if it was like smoke detector bell going off or what that bell we kept hearing? Or the
Uh, no, but I mean, when I'm reviewing the footage to make the video, I'm gonna look into that because I was like listening to a recent video of Farrar and they were talking about how um, the detection alarm or whatever would like go off, and that happened to Project Fear and some other people. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, what if that's what we were hearing? Because we didn't know that was even a thing at the time. And so I'm like, that could totally have been what we were hearing, and it's weird that other people had heard that, you
yeah,
know.
it's like we kept hearing it like what every minute or two
It was
minutes.
so loud and we couldn't figure out the source, so that would make sense if that is what it is.
Wow.
And
Weird.
then Courtney was showing me a video of like the toolbox handle dropped.
Just recently.
Oh yeah. Wow.
And then it was about 2:30 in the morning, right when we were getting kind of close to being done. Because like how the investigations go now, it's like not a full overnight. It's only like a 5 hour. You get from like
Oh
10:30 to 3:30. But then
yeah.
so you still get a lot, but it's not like overnight. But it was about 2:33 in the morning. We were getting done, and I was in the hallway facing the principal's office. I was taking like 4 or 5 pictures, and I caught something in the picture. Like, so I was holding the phone down by my stomach, and I saw this happening in real time as I was taking the picture. There was something moving from the hallway up the stairs into the office and then across into the
Oh,
closet in the principal's office. It's like
oh
every
wow. And
like
that's kind of common, I think, there too, that they get that shadow figure right in that area.
so it wasn't really a shadow figure, but it was like a ball of light.
Oh, okay.
And
Wow.
it was just like
Did
all
it
the
pick
hair
up
on my
on your,
arm stood up. It was just like, what
yeah.
just happened?
Did it pick up on your camera at all?
Yeah, so I got it on my phone, and you can
Cool.
in the pictures, I can send them to you, but like I have it circled, and you can see like where it is.
So I really want to get an ultraviolet light camera. I think that'll be super cool because we can possibly pick up things that we won't be able to see on our regular camera.
Yeah,
So that's something I'm looking into just to let you know. They're not that expensive, so
yeah, you can't have enough toys.
it would be cool because I
Oh
think
my
I
word.
get more like different anomalies and things in ultraviolet light. So
Yeah, I want to get a thermal camera too,
yeah, that would be cool. Those are spendy, but
or yeah, I don't know. Just I want to
Then you're
know.
gonna
there's a
have to
lot
get
of
a
things.
another case to carry all your extra stuff in, and
Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah.
true. I already had to upgrade mine.
it's
So
like
what are
trying to
some
rearrange
other
everything to fit.
yeah? So what
Right.
are some other locations that you've been to recently that like really stand out to you and the experiences?
So I have been to Waverly Hills a couple times. We were just there last. last when was it? It was July. It's hotter than Hades. Um and we got some interesting things there. Got really good communication with the bell and some EVPs up on that fifth floor, around room 502, and then got a really cool EVP on the second floor atrium of a little boy, um, saying he was pretty much like looking for his mom, which was
Hmm.
really cool. Um, just recently did an investigation at the Sally House. Um, and I'm working with a friend of mine that she's kind of working on a theory of what's really in the Sally House. And I just got done editing this video that we did, and this is her thing and her baby, so she's gonna be putting stuff out. But it was quite it's quite interesting. I'm actually going back with her and some other people next Friday, to
Nice.
get back in there and do some more work in there. But um, it's it's pretty interesting, the evidence we were getting um, last time. I'm going to investigate some new places this year, which I'm really excited about that I haven't been to. Haunted Hill House in Mineral Wells, Texas. I'll be going there, and Bolton House and Villisca is on my list this year too. So some new places I'm excited about.
Yeah, we'll be at the Sally House in about 2 months.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's
Yeah, it's before I had always heard, people are like, I've been there, nothing happens, this and that. And you're always going to hear good or the bad about,
yeah,
locations. I'm kind of one that's like, well, I'll experience it when I experience it. And if what happens happens, I'm not going to go in saying that nothing's going to happen. It's all about intention, and setting your intentions on how your investigation is going to go. But of course, like any paranormal investigation, you never know what's going to happen.
exactly.
But in my opinion, so I don't think there may be something dark there, but I don't go into investigations looking for that.
Yeah.
So that's not what I got. But I imagine if you go in looking for something like that, that's what you're going to get.
So for like a team like us going in there for the first time, what would you say like the hot spots of the house?
Um, in my opinion, I don't think the basement is really a hot spot. I think there's just a lot of talk. It's more talk than anything. People have gotten some stuff down there, but I feel like really the hot spot is going to be in the main, like the master bedroom. There's a closet, and some people call it a portal. We got really interesting stuff in there. We got good stuff in there. And of course, Sally's room, the room with all the dolls.
Hmm.
Um, you'll get you'll get a lot of stuff in there as well. So I think those two rooms, I mean, really the whole house, like people have gotten stuff in just the main living room area. But I think upstairs in Sally's room, and then that main bedroom
Okay.
in that little closet, you'll get some stuff, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. That
Yeah.
that was supposed to be our first investigation of the year, but we had to move another one because of a snowstorm, so it'll actually be our second one of the year. But
Yeah. Are you guys doing anything else in Atchison while you're there? Are you going to hit McIntyre Villa or
nope, just Sally House.
just Sally House? Yeah. Have you been to McIntyre Villa yet?
Have not.
That's another great place.
That's what I
Put that
hear.
on your list.
Well,
Yeah.
there's so many places on my list.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And it
Have
keeps
you?
growing.
Oh, I know. It's like every day I'm hearing of a new place. I'm like, wow, how come I have not heard of this before?
Yeah. But what's nice though, it's like where we're at, there's a lot of places that are within driving distance. Like we're in the Midwest, and I feel like you can get to a lot of places fairly easy,
Yeah,
at least for me. I feel like there's a lot around me that I can get to pretty quickly, because like Atchison's only an hour and 20 minutes. I could go to Iola, Kansas, is the sleeper mortuary.
yeah.
That's fairly new. And I've been there a handful of times. I'm supposed to go tomorrow.
That's what you were saying.
Probably won't, probably won't. But That is still on my list. I think I'm there a couple more times this year. I'm going in March too. So, that's a two-hour drive. Iowa, 3 hours. And I have family that lives in Iowa. That's where I grew up. I grew up in Iowa. So, um, yeah, I think we're just kind of lucky to be in this area where there's a lot around us. Now, there's definitely more I'd like to go and further. I can drive further, but um, yeah, I
Yeah.
am actually traveling quite a bit this year. I did just go to Galveston and did an investigation at the League Kempner house in Galveston with the Kling brothers. They put on a
Okay.
little event there. So we went and did that. And then of course I'm going to Texas for the Haunted Hill House in Bolton. And then I'm going to Wilmington, North Carolina to do the Booze Battleship. Remember
Nice.
that event? And they'll have an I went and visited the battleship like 2 years ago, and I was like, I have to come back and investigate this. Like, I want to investigate this battleship. It was so cool. So I'm excited to do that. Yeah. So there's a lot on my list this year.
Nothing wrong with
I've got
that.
to fit my solos in somewhere.
Yeah. Have you ever done Edinburgh in Iowa?
Yes, I did. And I did that about 2 years ago. Um, and it was an event that we did, and it was in November, so it was freezing cold. Um, but I really enjoyed that. But like I said, it was an event, so I was kind of helping with, running that. So I didn't really investigate a whole lot there. Um, but it was fun. I'd like to get back there sometime.
Yeah, that's like my favorite location. April, I'll be there for the seventh time. I just
That's
it
neat.
keeps drawing me back. If I could go every weekend, I would.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to go back, but that is a trek too. That's like I want to say 7 hours for me.
Yeah, it's about 5.5 for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of a drive, but it is worth it. It is worth it. It's a cool place.
Yeah, I think my most memorable experience, we were there on Easter, and it's like I heard my youngest daughter say dad like off to my left when
Uh-huh.
she wasn't even there. She was like in a
Oh my
different area.
gosh. That's crazy. It's like little those doppelganger voices or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, McIntyre Villa is kind of known for that too. There's been times where people have heard their name being called and it sounded like someone else. That happened to me. I was in New Orleans last year, and we stayed at the Bourbon Street Hotel in New Orleans, and I was with work. It was for a conference, dental conference. And of course I go, and my doc was like, you find the hotel. And I'm like, are you sure you want me to book the hotel? You know what I like to do, right? And I'm going to New Orleans. He's like, yeah, just make sure it's on Bourbon Street. So I try to find the most haunted hotel I possibly can. And I did. So we stayed
Nice.
there, and then we were all out one night, and everybody was like, a couple of the girls were like, well, I want to go back to the hotel. And I'm like, yeah, let's go back because I want to investigate. And they're like, okay, but I'm going to bed. So I went off on my own, and I was just kind of walking the halls, and I had cat balls, and I had ghost tube going. I don't know if you guys use ghost tube or not, but
I
I
haven't.
had
I've used
ghost
it a
tube.
few times.
Yeah, I had ghost tube going, and it was just saying a few things. And then I'm walking the halls, and I get all the way up to the sixth floor, and the hotel's kind of set up like a big U. So a whole hallway down this way, and a hallway down this way, so I was going down like the last hallway, and by the time I got close to the end, I hear Erica, like, and it sounded like the doctor I work for sounded just like him. And I turn around and I'm waiting for somebody to walk around the corner. Nobody came. I walk all the way down the hall and look, and I was on the sixth floor. I didn't hear anybody in their rooms. I didn't hear anybody respond to that, to somebody yelling Erica. And so it wasn't like just coincidence that somebody was calling somebody else. Didn't hear doors opening or closing, nothing. And so I called a couple of my coworkers. I'm like, where are you guys at? And they're all like, oh, we're still down, out on Bourbon Street or whatever. And I'm like, where's Doc? And they're like, he's here with us. And I'm like, he didn't come back to the hotel. And they're like, no. And I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
I don't know what that was, but I audibly heard it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And at Waverly Hills, I was down in the body chute and it was just me and this other guy, and we were all the way down at the bottom. Nobody else, and it was a small group of us that was there. So a lot of people were already like in other areas of Waverly Hills. And I know we were the only ones in that section. And I had my camera down there and rolling and stuff, and you could hear us talking. And I didn't hear anything audibly at the time. It wasn't until I came home and went over the evidence that I heard my name being called in the body chute, but it was only on my camera. And I was like, that was weird.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, you made it when they call your name, right? Like,
Right. Well, it's kind of like for me, it's like they haven't really said my name, but like whenever somebody's under Estes session, I got to ask, like, if there's anybody in
uh,
this room that you want to leave, who is it?
yeah.
9 times out of 10, they call me out and say I have to leave. I'm like, all right.
Now, that's interesting because it seems to be, would you be the only guy or only man in the room at that time?
Um, most times, yes.
Because I've noticed that, and because I've kind of played that same little scenario, not necessarily with Estes, but like I use flashlights a lot. I'll use a flashlight session,
Yeah.
and I'll be with a group of people, and I'll be like, going around like, who would you like to speak with, or who would you like out of the room? And it's generally always the man out of the room.
And
That
So
then
is
that's kind of
interesting.
interesting.
they
What's
pick me
that?
out. They pick me out a lot. I don't know why. That doesn't make sense. But like that one EVP we caught that says get out right after Matt asks who if they want
Right.
to leave. I was like, okay, that's nice. That was at Farrar, I think.
Oh,
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it sounded like to me is get out. But
hmm. What kind of audio or recorders are you guys using?
I have a Sony recorder.
I can't remember what mine is off the top of my head.
Yeah, I've used, I mean, of course, I feel like my camera picks up a ton of EVPs. And of course, even my phone has picked up some things, but I recently in the last year had picked up the DR60. And,
I'd love one, but they're
of
like
course, they're
super,
ridiculous.
yeah,
It's, but it's
super.
like, I figured, I'm not going to lose any money on it. If I wanted to sell it, I guess I could sell it,
On
right?
that note, though, I was doing some research on infrared, and they have this new device that's supposed to be, I don't know, it's like for EVP recording, but they have these different modes on there, and they have a DR60 mode that's supposed to replicate the same sound that a DR60 makes. Of course, it's already sold out, but I
Oh
mean, that
yeah.
might be something cool to get because if it does replicate it, that would save you like a lot of money and you'd still be able to theoretically get this.
Yeah, I mean, with the
Oh,
DR60, I think it's just something the way it's made,
yeah.
it's all internal. Um, but for whatever reason, I can't explain it, that it just picks up
Yeah.
so much better. Now, granted, there's times where you listen back and you're like, you can make anything out of that sound,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh, I hear this or I hear that, and then I could tell you, and you're going to hear the same thing. But there's times on it that it is clear.
Mhm.
It's like they went up to the recorder and spoke right into it, and it's clear. When we were in, and I have it on I put it on my TikTok and maybe I think it's on my Facebook. When we were in Galveston, we were at an Airbnb, and it was an old, like built in the 1800s. And I know, like, I booked this Airbnb so we can investigate it because I know it's haunted. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm sure it is. But
Right.
we felt like we were talking to a child spirit in there, and I put the DR60 down, and I think we asked how old. No, we asked what his name was. What's your name? And clear as day, you hear Cole, like it was close to the recorder. And then
Wow.
where I was like, okay, nobody said anything. And one of the other girls was recording at the same time. So I was like, let's watch back and make sure nobody said anything in between those two questions to make sure it wasn't any of us or any of us moving or making a noise. And it was dead silent in between there. So So I've had like those class A EVPs with that, but I've also had really not so great EVPs that you can hear it. When we were at the
Yeah.
Sally house, I was going through the EVPs with that, and there's actually whisper, like you can hear a whisper. And I cleaned it up on the computer, and it's crazy that it's just this clear answer
Right.
that you can hear, and it's like I don't know, it's just flabbergasting to me that it's that you can have that communication like that. It's
Yeah,
just
we got something like that on a recorder that we played overnight when we were at the Boyd house, and we got like this creepy little girl spirit. I can't recall what she was saying, but even over like the rain that we had in the background as white noise because it was
yeah.
terrifying being there, we could still hear it, and it was
So some
clear.
yeah, and sometimes they'll speak through that white noise that you have
Yeah, that's
playing. You know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah,
They use that frequency of that white noise to use that energy to communicate with. It's
yeah.
crazy. Yeah.
It was really like, oh, that's creepy. I was sleeping. I don't like
Oh,
that.
I'm sure. Like when
Yeah.
we were
That's
at,
why I sleep with earbuds in and an eye mask when I've got a haunted
Oh, well, we were
location.
like ready for the dead bell to go off all night long. And then James tells me, oh, I actually didn't turn it on. I just wanted to like psych us out. And if it did go off, then it would be astonishing. Okay.
You're like,
well,
man, they know how to turn it on.
Well, you
like
can physically touch it. So that's the thing.
when we were at Waverly last summer, so we were down in the lobby area. What was that? My screen, like everything on my screen just like popped up and I didn't touch anything.
That's weird.
But anyway, so we're like down the lobby area and Natalie and I were telling a story of something that happened our first trip to Waverly. And
Hmm.
afterwards, we were doing an EVP session and we were asking if, like, the story of this girl named Mia, if she was a real person or a spirit. And on the EVP, I came across she was a spirit, but of course, now I can't find it anywhere.
Oh,
So it's like, and so, like, the funny thing is, like, when we were there July of 2024, this mom and daughter joined up with us and they, hey, you guys look like you know what you're doing. You have equipment. I'm like, we don't know anything. We're just starting. But it's
uh-huh.
like this girl that was with us, like every video she was in, every picture that we had taken of her, it's like either the video file is corrupt and you can't watch it, or the picture of
Oh,
her face was like blurred out every time.
that's weird.
And it's like, so we think she was actually a spirit that was along with us because, like, at the
Right.
end of the night, you never saw her again.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I see
Now,
that happening with like taxis and stuff, or somebody gets in the car and then they're just
yeah.
not there. And it's like so many stories like that.
Yes, you hear stories like that.
Oh, weird.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Wow. Neat. That's neat.
Yeah.
So what is your guys' next adventure?
So Sally House.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Then after that, we got the Masonic Lodge down in Keysburg, Illinois, and then Edinburgh.
Okay. Those lodges are interesting. Have you investigated a Masonic lodge before?
I have. I was with my friend's team. It was my third investigation ever. We had the craziest Esta session down there. It was just like, so it was my friend Grady, his sister Erin, and I at a table, and he was under, and he felt like there was somebody standing behind him the whole time, pressing down on his shoulders. His
Oh, wow.
sister
Yeah.
got sick where she had to go outside and she like threw up. And then I was awake the whole time and knew what was going on, but it felt like I was in like a trance. And it's like I could
Yeah.
only look at one area.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, because there's so much history in those places, and so many comings and goings and events and rituals and different things like that, that
Yeah, because it used to be a
they're pretty,
hotel and then it was something else and then it was a Masonic Lodge. So it's got like three different layers of history to it.
yeah, 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 that's cool. Yeah. Well, neat. Awesome.
So there's one question I always like to ask our guests, but I kind of flipped it and made it into a two-part question now. So,
Lucky me.
what are three locations that are on your bucket list to investigate? And then what are three locations you would never want to investigate?
Oh my gosh. Never want to investigate?
Yeah,
Hmm. So three locations bucket list. Um, Trans-Allegheny is one that I want to go to. Indiana State Sanatorium and um trying to think what else. I mean, there's so many to choose from, right?
true.
Um, that I don't know. Oh, I do want to go down. I want to do Myrtle's plantation. Like go stay there and investigate. I've always been interested in that place. Not places I wouldn't go to. I don't know. Because like really like there's really no place like I don't really have any fear of going anywhere. Like no place would like freak me out that I wouldn't go to. Um, I don't know. I can't. That's a hard question. You should have saved that for your next guess.
I
Yeah, it's
just,
hard for us to answer too.
well, I did that. We had a podcast, what, a month ago, where just a group of friends, and I
Mhm.
just like came out with that on the spot. I'm like, no, I'm gonna ask this.
Where would I
Kind of
not
throw a
want to go?
curveball.
I
I
don't
think
know. I mean,
we had one answer, didn't, wasn't it Dawn said Brushy Mountain, was it?
Yeah, I think something like that.
I guess like if you think of I probably the Appalachians, you know, if you want to like don't ever go and investigate into the Appalachian Mountains, that would be one place I probably wouldn't go.
For me, I just said anything with like a ton of spiders or like it's just really, really, really nasty.
Gross.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm
Yeah.
not going in there.
Right.
That's my
Yeah.
line. Or somewhere super
Anywhere.
dangerous
Yeah.
and high up that I'm gonna fall.
Well, like I was just told about this from a person I investigated with over the summer. So I guess there's this area in the Appalachian Mountains by Trans-Allegheny. It's called the Quiet Zone.
Mm,
It's like I don't know like how many square miles it is,
yeah.
but
You hear nothing.
it's hold on. The people that run it is the Green Bank Observatory. It's like a government complex where this land, there's no internet, there's no cell service, microwaves are illegal. It's just like a dead zone where there's
Mm,
like none of that. And it's like, I kind of want to check that out because we're going to Penhurst, Gettysburg, and Trans-Allegheny in July.
I feel like I've
oh, cool.
seen a documentary about that place. Now
It's
like say that
it's
because it
on it's
sounds
on the
familiar.
way to Trans-Allegheny. I'm like,
And there's like
So
people
is
that
it
don't
like
have
you can get
electricity to live there.
yeah.
you can
It's
get there,
not
but
you
like,
said it's government owned. Is it
well,
are you able to get on property
yeah,
or
there's
is it
like roads that go through there, but the thing is, like, when you're driving there, the closer you get, like, even your maps won't work.
I don't know if I would not I think I'd want cell service
But
going into some place like
it
that.
like sounds like so interesting. I've never heard of that until like 2 days ago. But of
I
course,
don't know.
it's
It
in the
reminds me of
Appalachian Mountains,
a yeah, yeah, it reminds me of a horror novel.
right?
Yeah.
It
I
could make for
don't
a good story though.
know.
But it's kind of like funny. Last summer when we were out at Old Hospital in College Hill, and we're driving from Williamson, West Virginia, up to Lancaster, Ohio. And it's like I wanted to stop at an antique store, but I'm like, God, I don't know if I want to or not because I might not come out of the antique store.
Yeah.
I just don't know. And then like
Yeah.
we saw this one guy, 8:30 in the morning, along the highway, just no shirt, no shoes, just pair of shorts, drinking a cigarette or smoking a cigarette and drinking a beer. It's like where'd he come from? Like the nearest road is
Yeah.
like 5 miles in either direction.
Mm. Good thing he didn't have his thumb out
Nope, he was just,
trying to catch a ride.
yeah, no thanks.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, Gettysburg sounds amazing too. That is, I mean, there's so many places, yeah, that I would love to go. I would love to go to. And honestly, like every year I try to make it a point to find a new location or go to a new location to investigate. Because you can, I mean, I can investigate I've been to McIntyre, I don't even know how many times, and which I love it. And I love Stephanie, the owner. I love being there and supporting her. And I get evidence every time I go. There's something happening every time I'm there. So something, I mean, it's a great place to be. Um, but you can kind of get burnt out on locations,
Yeah.
you do them over and over again. So I always try to make it a point to try to find, you know, at least one
Yeah,
new
but like
location to
this
go
year
to.
for locations, it's like the Masonic Lodge I've been to once, and obviously Edinburgh I've been to, but besides those
Yeah,
locations, every place we're going, I've never done an overnight before.
yeah. No, you'll, yeah, that's good. You'll have a great time.
And like next year, plan is I want to go west and investigate because I've never done anything out west.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm trying to think. I haven't either. I haven't either.
I think we're going to Tombstone in May, but it's not like I'm gonna get like first access to like the Birdcage Theater or anything. It's gonna be like, like a day thing. I think maybe a ghost tour, but
Yeah.
much as I would love that, I don't even think they offer that there unless it's like thousands of dollars for like a private group.
Right.
But it's cool to just go there.
You guys, if you're going out that way too, and I'm not sure how close it is, if the Clown Motel, I'm telling I think that's out kind of
Yeah,
near.
it's out there. It's like I think it's more close to like Vulture City maybe, but
Yeah,
it's
it's
somewhere an
probably
hour away. I don't know. We're
a
trying to figure out
20-hour drive for us.
the
Oh,
logistics, but yeah, we'll fly. We usually do like a 7-day trip
yeah.
here, and I've been trying to talk James into doing something out west, and I finally convinced him. And I've never been to Arizona either, so I think
Oh, yeah.
I've just
It's
never done a
beautiful.
whole state. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, well, I've been to Sedona and then we went over to oh, I can't think what's that name of that town. It's an old copper mining town and it is way haunted.
yeah. Are you
We just did like a little
Goldfield,
walking. What's that?
Goldfield, Nevada? There's that one too.
Not Goldfield. It's in Arizona.
Yeah, Culture City
I'm
is the other
just
one.
having a brain.
There's so
I'll
many
think
out
of it in
there.
this.
You like
I'll
drive
think.
and like hit a bunch of ghost towns like on your way.
Yeah, it's really cool. We just did a little walking tour there of it, but it's like right up on this mountain, this little town right on the side of this mountain, and it was an old copper mining town, and um, it's really neat. Have you guys been to Eureka Springs, Arkansas,
I have not.
Crescent
Oh,
Hotel?
that'll be on the
Nope.
list.
Yeah, Crescent, and so it kind of reminds me of that little town, like Eureka Springs, that area. But yeah, that's a neat town to go to too.
Yeah, there's just so many places. It's like the time and the money.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. You gotta plan it out. You gotta save the money.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like for going to Trans Allegheny, that's like costing an arm and a leg, but it's like I think we got for that one like 15 people going, so that
Yeah.
narrows the cost down some. It's
Yeah,
still
you have to
expensive,
those
but
yeah, those big places like that, you have to get a big group, otherwise you can't afford it.
right.
It's crazy. But the good thing about it, it's a large enough, building, and I don't think you get all the buildings to investigate, but
No, you get the main building and then
like the main building, but like you
you can do the outer
yeah.
buildings, but that's, another 2 grand.
Mm, that's crazy.
I
That's
suppose that place
crazy.
is so expensive to keep though, like keep up.
Oh, I can
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, where they're coming
Yeah.
from because it's beautiful and I would hate for it to fall into disrepair either. But
Right.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they got to pay the bills and they got to keep it up. So, um, yeah, I imagine that's why it is what it is. But it's big enough that you get a big group like that. You can
Yeah.
spread out, split up, spread out,
You
and
might never see each other.
Yeah, that place is huge.
be like Project Fear, get your walkie-talkies and
Yeah, I got some for Christmas for my mom. I think it was more of a joke, but I think I'm actually gonna use them.
Yeah, I got four.
I think it'll be cool to have some walkie-talkies and those huge.
yeah, they come in handy. When you're in big places like that, they come in handy.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
If you know how to
Especially
use them. A lot of times they'll hand them to me and I'd be like, I don't know what I'm doing. They'll be like, I've been trying to call you. And I'm like, it's
well,
not even on.
as a healthcare worker, I've used those walkies at work for like communication between the CNAs. So I'm actually familiar with how to use them,
There
you
you
know.
go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Well,
that's
I
cool.
don't know if I have anything else. Do you have anything, Courtney?
No, nothing to add. I'm good.
Well, I'm
All
looking
right.
forward to meeting you guys.
Yes.
Looks like, Melbourne will be a spot we'll be able to meet up at.
Yep. That'll be
Probably
our first time there.
oh yeah, I've been there I've had some cool experiences there too. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
have Josh on the podcast in a couple weeks, I think, or on the
Oh good.
first, on the first.
Yeah. Oh, he's a great guy. Yeah. He is so personable. He's so knowledgeable of that place. It's like yeah. Yeah, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love him. He's a really cool dude.
Yeah, that's what I hear. So one last thing I like to do on the podcast is give you a chance to shout out your socials where everybody can find you.
Well, you can find me on Facebook, Solo Paranormal. It's SOULLO Paranormal. And then TikTok as well, same Solo Paranormal. And then I have a YouTube channel, Solo Paranormal, all the same. Um, it's just kind of getting started, my YouTube channel. I do have a video up that I kind of put together of an investigation that I did with the Boo Crew at the Aurora Brothel last month. So that's up. And then once I do my solo at McIntyre, I'll put a little video together as well on that, put that up on YouTube. So
All
those are my
right.
handles. And I mean, I have Instagram, but I haven't really set up anything for my solo. I mean, I have Instagram under my personal name, but I kind of keep everything on Facebook and TikTok.
All right. Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we thank you for taking some time out of your night to join us.
Well, I appreciate you having me. It was
Yep.
fun.
Mhm.
And don't get snowed in too bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
I hope not. I would like to get to Sleeper Mortuary tomorrow, but I'm not going to risk it
Yeah, I
if
How
don't
it's
far is
too
blame you.
that?
bad.
How far is that for
What's
you?
that?
How far away is that again for you?
For me, it is 2 hours. It's like a little
Oh,
over 2 hours.
yeah.
Yeah. And they're supposed to get more snow south, and they're a little more south. They're on the Kansas side. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah. So I'm gonna play it by ear. Let's see what happens. We're supposed to
Yeah.
get like 2 rounds, one round tonight and another round tomorrow. So more than likely I'll be hunkered at home in
Yeah,
front
I
of the
don't think I'm
fireplace.
going anywhere tomorrow because it's just gonna be as cold tomorrow too. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys stay in, stay warm,
all right.
stay spooky.
Yep. All
Yeah.
right. You have a great rest of your night.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
guys. Nice to meet you.
Yep. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.